Yes. We're going live in like a minute and a half, something like that. Well, as you can see on the screen, a minute and some odd seconds. Hello. Every Monday or most Mondays, we go live on the Safety Dog channel. Mondays at 1. And there we go. That's what I was looking for. Just wanted to see there. Okay. Good day. We've got a viewer. Yeah, baby. Say hi in the chat and I'll give you a shout out. All right, we're talking about CVOR and carrying on from the last time I was live where we talked about ratings, CVOR ratings. So that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit today, specifically the conditional rating. And we'll just wait for the clock to count down. Boom. Oh. Never know what to do when I go live a minute early, or actually 2 minutes early is when I went live, but as I always do, but I never know what to do during these 2 minutes. Besides saying hello to everybody, hello. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. The weather here in Southern Ontario, at least in Hamilton, was pretty darn good. Maybe a little cool for some people. But basically, it was pretty good, nice and sunny, and you were able to do work outside and everything. Chad Vance is on the line from ReadyCheck. Yes. Good day, Chad. And again, for those people who are not familiar with ReadyCheck, Chad's company, they offer you a digital vehicle inspection format that you can do on your cell phone. And it's built for those companies who stay within a 160 kilometer radius. So 160 kilometer radius. Yes, if that's you, you should check out ReadyCheck. So there you go, Chad. A shout out. Let's start here. We are talking about CVOR and conditional ratings. That's what the topic is today. But we are, June the 6th. So we have 6 more days until the new ELD law comes into effect. Here in Ontario, at least, the new ELD law comes into effect. And this is the list of approved suppliers for that new ELD law. So on June the 12th of 2022, this law takes effect. And it takes effect with a soft enforcement or educational enforcement, which generally means that in most cases, your driver's not going to get a ticket. Your company's not going to be ticketed for not having a correct ELD. That will take place until January the 1st of 2023. So we have about 6 months of this type of enforcement, soft enforcement, where the officers will be educating you and your drivers. So if you do not yet have a compliant ELD, and that's what's on the screen there, we'll point the other way, that's what's on the screen, is a list of compliant ELDs. And what I did here is I sorted the list by certification date. So Geotab was the most recent supplier to get certified, and that device got certified on May the 13th. And as you can see here, there's quite a list of devices now. We now have 5 pages of 10 suppliers, 10 devices. I'll use the correct term, 10 devices per page, because as you can see here, for example, Geotab has several devices approved, or several software versions. It depends. Some of them are Android, some of them are iOS, and different things like that. So you've got to check to make sure that if you are trying to figure out, is your device certified? Don't just look at the name, and in this case, Geotab, and say, yep, I've got a certified device, because that may or may not be true. You've got to go a little bit further, and at the top here, you can see we've got the version, The software, that's what's important, are these two, the technical standard electronic ELD devices version 1.2. The product name is important. So all of these tabs, you've got to be identifying all of these products, and that way you will know if your device is compliant or not. So I just wanted to let you know about that. That's June the 12th, 6 days away. You've got to have an ELD. However, you will not get a ticket because of the enforcement. Hard enforcement will start January the 1st of 2023. So I think that's pretty straightforward, kind of simple. All right, let's go to conditional CVOR. All right, so if you have a conditional CVOR, there's, of course, two ways that you got that conditional CVOR. The first way, of course, is that your overall violation rate, that's what OVR stands for, overall violation rate, went north of 70. So if you get north of 70%, higher than 70%, you will become conditional. Now, there's not a lot you can do about that other than get your OVR down below 60%. And as soon as you get it down below 60%, it can revert back to your previous rating. However, understand that as soon as you go conditional, it's going to remain conditional for minimum of 6 months. So when you go conditional, because your OVR went above 70, it's going to stay there for a minimum of 6 months or until you get your OVR below 60%. So you got to get it below 60 or else it will remain conditional. So make sure you get it below 60. The other way that you can go and get a conditional rating is that you failed an audit. Now, we're not going to be talking about audits this week, but you failed the audit and now you go conditional. And up until about 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago, the only way to get that changed was to have another audit. Well, that's no longer true. You no longer need another audit if you meet certain conditions. All right, so this is where we talk about ASRA. ASRA stands for Alternate Safety Risk Assessment. And Alternate Safety Risk Assessment, if you meet the criteria that MTO has set out, then you might be selected for an alternate safety risk assessment. And if you are selected for that, then you do everything by email. So how do you get on the list for ASRA or ASRA? Well, you have to request a voluntary audit. I know. And if you are selected for ASRA, you get a letter and you have to respond to the letter within 30 days. So that's pretty quick turnaround time. And I think, and no one at MTO has told me this, but I think the reason for the quick turnaround time is they want to know that you've got certain things already in effect. And so they give you a few days to prepare everything and send it over to them. So make sure that you are ready for an audit before you request a voluntary audit. And should you be selected for ASRA, you should have everything all ready to ship over via email to the MTO. And then MTO reviews it. They may have some questions, and if they have questions, they'll reach out to you and ask for clarification or more evidence, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for evidence that you've changed your ways, because remember that you failed an audit. And so one of the questions I get asked frequently is, well, I failed an audit a year ago. Can I request have another audit now? Well, yes, you can, but you will not be selected for ASRA. ASRA, one of the conditions that you have to meet is that your audit was at least 36 months ago. So it has to be at least 3 years ago before you can be selected for ASRA. So just be aware of that. Conditional ratings have to be older than 36 months, and then you might be selected for ASRA. There is a condition for the overall violation rate. I believe it's 35%. If you are less than 35% and your audit is more than 3 years old, you might be selected for ASRA. There's a bunch of other conditions. If you want to know them all, reach out to me. Let's have a chat, and I can do that. And I would be happy to help you out with that. If you are accepted, then your rating changes to satisfactory unaudited. Woohoo! Yes, because that's what we want. Satisfactory unaudited rating, or satisfactory audited if you had to get re-audited. A satisfactory rating means that you passed your audit. So with that, that's all we've got today for conditional CVOR. If you want to find out more information about ASRA, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to take a phone call for a few minutes. We can discuss ASRA and how to get on that list. It is, again, when you submit to the MTO, it has nothing to do with you or I. When you submit and ask for a voluntary audit, it goes into the MTO. They review your request, and if you meet the ASRA conditions, then you might be selected for ASRA, which means that no one's coming to your premises. Yes, it is much better to be selected for ASRA than to go through a whole stressful audit. All right, I've been able to help many companies so far get their rating changed through the ASRA process, and I've been quite successful. 100 out of 100% of the companies that I've worked with, and I think that's 10 now, so 10 out of 10 have got their ratings changed to satisfactory unaudited, which in my opinion is perfect because your insurance company loves that rating. And that's why you want to get rid of the conditional rating, is because insurance companies do not like conditional ratings, at least most of them. And they would much rather have you with a satisfactory unaudited rating than a conditional rating. If you've got any questions, reach out either via phone or shoot me an email, chris@safetydawg.com. And don't forget, by the way, I've got a new podcast, a CVOR podcast. That is out now. There's 4 episodes published for that. And check out the Trucking Risk and Insurance podcast, because we always have somebody interesting on, and we talk about subjects that are interest to you. So that's it for this week. Chris Harris, Safety Dawg. Have a great week and stay safe.